Hi there! You've been linked to this video because you have incorrectly claimed that libertarian socialism is not an oxymoron. Or you have linked somebody claiming that libertarian socialism is an oxymoron to the Libertarian Socialist Rants video, Libertarian Socialism is not an oxymoron. While it is understandable why you may use the term libertarian socialist to describe your anarcho-communist or anarcho-syndicalist views, the fact is you are simply using the term incorrectly, as I will explain. Now, allow me to start by nipping in the bud the argument that we just have our own definitions of libertarianism and socialism. Because this is how it sounds to libertarians, anarcho-capitalists, and most people, to be honest with you. Hey, you're a serial killer. What? No, I'm not. Actually, you are, because I have my own definition of serial and killer. Serial means someone with flesh, and killer means someone with blood. You have both, and therefore you are, in fact, a serial killer. But then why not use words that we currently agree better fit the definitions of the word of what you're trying to say, as opposed to just using your own made-up definitions nobody understands but you? Shut up! You see why it doesn't convince us? Now, you may respond with, but libertarian actually meant left-wing anarchist for a long time, and the usage of it in terms of right-wing capitalist contexts are actually fairly recent. This, while mildly challenging, however, is simply not a compelling argument, as words change definitions all the time. Up until very recently in human history, the term privacy, instead of meaning alone time, meant just time you spent defecating. However, that doesn't mean that if I use privacy in that context that I'm automatically right because it used to mean that. If anything, I'm just confusing everyone. Another example is the term retarded. Currently, that is a slur for people with mental disabilities. However, once upon a time, it was actually the politically correct and appropriate way to refer to someone who was mentally disabled. A similar thing happened with the term colored people. It was once just a way to refer to non-white people. In fact, the NAACP still stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and with English speakers using the term Negro, which originally was just a way of referring to an African American, as Negro is Spanish for black. However, since then, the term has been co-opted by racists, and as such, it is currently considered offensive for someone who speaks English to use the term in reference to an individual. And of course, there's the most famous example where gay, instead of the current meaning, which is a slang term for homosexual, used to just mean happy. In fact, you can even see examples of it being used in that context in older TV programs like I Love Lucy and the Flintstones. Now, we'll actually look at the definitions used in the video Libertarian Socialism is not an oxymoron and see if they do end up contradicting themselves. We'll start with libertarianism, as that is the philosophy I do subscribe to. It is defined as skepticism of authority and hierarchy / rejection of state power. Now, there's another definition of how it's used in American political context that basically sets a proponent of free market capitalism. However, and I can't believe I have to explain this twice in a row, that is not what libertarianism is. Libertarianism is an ideology purely based around the absence of aggression. Things like promoting free market capitalism and being anti-government are simply just aspects or side effects of being against aggression, not the entire point of libertarianism. There's a video by Shane Killian, Libertarianism and Property Rights, a Matter of First Principle, that I recommend that anyone watching this video who would like more detail on this check out. it basically comes down to we consistently apply the rejection of aggression to everyone and therefore find the state violates that the most, and as such it must be gotten rid of. Now let's look at the definition of socialism, which is, according to Cameron, workers own and manage their own workplace rather than working for bosses or the state. Now, we'll ignore the fact that there have been many socialist societies and not a single one of them can claim to have done this, and when it's tried out in the real world, you get places like Valve, which, let's be real, aren't really all that good in terms of innovation. However, this ignores the bigger question. In a libertarian society, if you want to create a commune with your buddies, that's fine. If you want to open a business and run it according to Marxist principles, that's fine. However, what would happen in a libertarian socialist society when I decide to open my business and not run it according to Marxist principles, and instead pay people wages and take some amount of profit? If your answer is nothing, in fact, you're just going to attempt to convince me rationally and use empirical evidence, such as my business failing and yours succeeding, that your system is better, then you are an anarcho-capitalist, and I may even come and join you after being convinced. If the answer is, men with guns shut me down or guillotine me or something along those lines, then there must be a hierarchy by definition, and as such, the society is not stateless, not anarchist, and not libertarian. Libertarian socialists, anarcho-communists, and anarcho-syndicalists love to point to the 3-year period in Catalonia as evidence that our system could just manage to work if we were just given a chance, despite the fact it failed after 3 years. But that's another story. However, what I'm describing is exactly what happened, as there was a state, that being the unions that ran Catalonia. And they did things such as execute people if they tried to drink coffee or smoke tobacco, and execute people if they tried to emigrate from Catalonia without state permission. I mean, union permission. Catalonia is what I like to call because I said so anarchism. Why isn't the union that is stopping me from leaving determining what industries I can work in and determining what I can put into my own body not a state? Because I said so. You see, all a state needs to do is declare itself a union, and then it's anarchist, even if it's doing the exact same thing. And this isn't a straw man, mind you. Cameron praises Catalonia in the video I'm responding to. And they do this all the time, I swear. Anyway, that's all I have to say on this matter. So if you enjoyed this video, follow me on Twitter at @FromJosine1. Follow me on Medium, where I write articles, link below. And if you really enjoy this video, you can even donate to my Atomic wallet, link below, in some form of cryptocurrency. And if you would like an address to a specific currency, simply ask me in the comments, and I will give you that. Besides that, just like, comment, and subscribe, and remember, I'm Ephraim, and never stop making the case for liberty.